So recently, as in about 4 days ago at the time of this recording, the creative director for Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Jonathan Dumont, held a Reddit AMA in which he answered quite a few questions about Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Most answers were to do with the game and the gameplay itself, but there was one question and answer that stood out above the rest for me. The question in question was asked by Reddit user The One Alistair, who asked, "Will there be a definitive canon story?" The answer to which was yes, there will be a canon represented in the novel featuring Cassandra and her journey, but in the game you decide your path. There is no right or wrong way. Basically saying that the game itself isn't canon as far as the historical aspects are concerned, Alexios isn't canon, Cassandra is, and she has a very specific journey that will be detailed in the novel. In short, basically the game's not canon, besides from the modern day of course, which I reckon will be canon. For those of you who do not know what canon is in this context, it is a collection or list of sacred books accepted as genuine. So, as far as a game's concerned, if something is canon, it's something that happened within that game's lore, or is otherwise something that is accepted within the lore. The other definition is a general law, rule, or principle by which something is judged. So canon could also be the rules in which a universe has to follow or abide by to be acceptable. For something to not be canon, it could be going outside of either of these definitions, if not both. So basically, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, as we're going to be playing it, won't be canon. However, the events of which the game will be based around will be canon, except it'll go a specific way. And of course, the modern day outside of the Animus will probably be canon as well. So technically the game is canon. This is going to get very confusing. I think we're going to have to break this one down. If you recall back to Assassin's Creed Origins, there were various precursor sites throughout the map, all of which with their own cryptic message. One of them more or less outright tells us that Layla's Animus can alter the simulation more than others, and since we know we're still going to be playing as Layla, we'll probably still be using her Animus, or at least the software it uses to be able to alter the simulation. And so as long as we achieve our modern day objective for going into the Animus in the Animus, it doesn't really matter what happens in there. And so Assassin's Creed Odyssey will be canon without making the events canon, because no matter what we do in the Animus, we'll all have the same results in the modern day, which is the canon part. However, what really happened during the historical events in which the simulation is based around will be touched down upon in an upcoming novel that will detail Cassandra's journey. The book's canon, the modern day is canon. What you do in the simulation is canon as far as the modern day is concerned. However, it does not accurately represent the historical events in which the simulation is based around in lore. You know what? It works. I don't understand why it has to be this difficult, why they have to create a canon outside of the game. I mean, the answer's quite obvious, but I mean, come on, that's just gonna fuck with things. Not necessarily as far as lore's concerned either, it's just gonna beg questions about the game. Why give us an RPG experience in which our choices affect the game, but don't matter in the lore? Also, why give us the option to choose our gender in the game when Cassandra's the canon character? Where did this Alexios guy come from? I mean, I get giving the player as much choice as possible, but if you're going to make the canon choices for the player, what's the point? In a lot of RPGs in which your choices matter and you can choose your gender and all these things, they leave a lot of what actually happened up to your head to make up. It's called headcanon. If you think about it, faffing about with what's confirmed not canon just seems a little pointless. What's the point in having a choice if that choice doesn't matter? It's almost like having the illusion of a choice and not an actual choice. And of course it'll work for the game, but that journey won't be canon. And I'm not saying that the game is pointless in the way that it's going, I actually kind of like the RPG aspects of the game. That's what I'm most looking forward to about Odyssey. What I don't like is how there's going to be a novel that details the canon events, and it'll completely ruin the headcanon and, in the process, the journey that we had in the game. So if you think about it, these RPG elements are still just an illusion. This won't necessarily have a negative effect on how the game is, but it might have a negative effect on how the canon is received. Ultimately, it just proves the point that I've already made in a previous video, if not several times already, that this kind of RPG styled game does not work in a franchise that has so much transmedia such as novels, movies, comic books and things like that. There's too much hard canon set in place, overlapping with what's going on, for us to have a valid, malleable experience within the universe. Because, just like they have this time, they're just going to undermine it. Please tell me I'm not the only one who finds this somewhat frustrating. And this is not even something that's reflecting on the game. The game might be great, it could be bloody fantastic, but in trying to support a specific path, the canon is actually undermining the point of the game and what could make it great. And that's what's so bothersome about it all. Now moving on to the next question. Who the fuck is Alexios and why does he need to exist? If Cassandra's the canon character, even if there is a canon path, then surely even though Alexios is there, he doesn't exist and has no reason for being there. In fact, all Alexios is going to do is bring down the quality of the performance of the protagonist because it will be two actors going over the same lines as opposed to one actor working on the character and making the character sort of their own, which is easier achieved through improvisation, among other things. And I'd much rather have a really good main character as opposed to being able to choose what gender the character is, because that's a feature that only ever really properly works and doesn't affect anything is in a sandbox RPG, and Odyssey definitely isn't sandbox. But please do let me know what you think about all of this down in the comments section. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of them tapping down on this with an official canon iteration. I feel as if there's no need for that per se, but it's kind of what you'd expect from a transmedia franchise like Assassin's Creed. But anyway, thank you all for watching. I do hope that you all enjoyed. Be sure to go ahead, leave a like, subscribe, share. Let me know what you think down in the comment section, like I said, and I'll see you all very soon with another video at some point.